Hi everyone and welcome back to Alejandro HD. And today I thought I would talk about the Quintessential Quintuplets movie. Quintessential Quintuplets. Ugh, can't speak. I saw this film back in December in the cinema of all places, which was nice because usually I have to find it on a dodgy website or go on Crunchyroll. So it was good to actually watch some anime in a cinema for a change. Um, and of course, this was the continuation of the two seasons that we've had. Um, and I'm very happy that they did make it into a film because I think if they had a third season with the same content that they had in the film but tried to make it into a season, it would either drag on too much or they probably wouldn't have enough content to fill it up for his how many episodes it was for the first two seasons. So I'm quite glad that they didn't do that and we just got a full honest to God film. Um, I've found this video quite hard to make because I didn't really know how I was going to do it. Like, because there's so many characters. Well, there's five of them. Um, in fact, I was just counting there, and of plus Futuro. So how was I going to go into in-depth character and talk about each and every single one? That would take far too long. And I try to make my videos within 10-minute segments or shorter. So yeah, I'm just going to talk briefly about the characters, talk briefly about the film itself, what I liked, what I didn't like, and then just my general format. Uh, in true quintessential quintuplets fashion, we were forced to wait. Well, forced. We were made to wait till the very end to finally find out who he marries because that's just the that's just the nature of the program. But I'm glad that we did get a resolve. And I was surprised. I'm gonna be honest. I was surprised about this choice. I didn't think he'd go for Yotsuba. I would have preferred. Well, I would have just in my mind. Mine was Miku, who was my favorite character, and who I thought he should have got with because just from the earlier interactions between Futaro and Miku, I felt that they two were very. Um, I think it was kind of a red herring because maybe it was too much that they were, with each other, and we were given a lot of, will they, won't they, by the writers. I also thought that he would have ended up with Ichika as well. That was another one because Ichika, being the older one, um, being the more mature one, I just thought that that would have maybe fit more into Futaro's sort of character mindset because he is a very mature character. In some senses, of course, not all, but like in terms of like bookish sort of um, schoolwork, things like that. Whereas Ichika's more in the sense of mature as an adult, wants to become an actress. So it's kind of similar but different at the same time. But yeah, I think upon a further sort of analysis of the film and what we've seen, I do think that Yutsuba was the right choice because we find out that Futuro did have an interaction with one of them years and years before as a child, and then we find out it was in fact Yotsuba because it's hard to differentiate who each individual girl is when they're all dressed the same or when they were younger and they had all their haircuts were all the same style and so on. So I thought that was a nice little touch. The film itself, I did really enjoy it. There was a couple of things I'd made in my notes here that I wasn't very excited about the soundtrack. I really thought it would have been nice if they had brought back season one soundtrack, especially the opening credits because that's a great song. And they maybe incorporated it some way into the main film, but they didn't do that. Which, mm, I mean, I think it would have just been a really cool way to end it. Because it's it was the song was very descriptive of the plot of the show. At the beginning they're talking about how they don't like him, and then they slowly start to become familiar with him, and it's one of these ones where it's a harem anime, and it's hard because most of the harem animes are not very good, but Quintessential Quintuplets does have that slice of life mixed in, bit of romance, which does in fact make it enjoyable and doesn't make it too cringy because with harem anime it can get very much like that, especially if the main protagonist is just a block of a guy with no emotions and no personality. But what they did with Futuro was they made him very unlikable at the beginning, just like how we see him from the sister's point of view, to how we gradually grow and accept him as the series progresses. And then, of course, the movie. The movie itself, again, school festival. The trope is I don't know, like you know what I think is really funny about anime? Like they can make this trope, school festivals, or something along the lines of that, and they can still make it somehow they can still make it watchable, because I don't know how they do it, because a lot of stuff that I watch where they have the school festival, the big dramatic reveal, kind of like feels like, oh, how are they going to? Why do they keep doing this the same way over and over again? But it seems to work again for this one. The whole repetitive scenario thing, it did and it didn't work for me. I get it, because it's kind of in the style, like Futuro going through his mind and going to how he would do each individual sister in their setting, and how he would confess to them and so on. And well, it's it's good from a viewer point of view. It's good for like a main story point of view, but from a viewer point of view, kind of like you just I mean, for me, I just wanted them to get on with it. I want like, come on, who is this going to be? Because they didn't leave anything to chance until the very last minute. Well, not the very last minute, but like the sort of ending part. Um, what I did like is everyone sort of got their resolve, what they wanted to do with their life. Of course, it isn't really about Futuro. Like I can't remember exactly what he becomes. I didn't actually write that down. I wrote everyone else down. Each could becoming the actress she always dreamed of, Nino, and Miku opening a bakery. I thought that was a really nice little wholesome thing, because we've seen how through the series Miku was wanting to be a better cook, to impress Futuro. But she was better baker than she was a cook, and Nino was a better cook than she was a baker, so they sort of taught each other, and I thought that was really cool. Um, Yutsuba, I can't remember exactly what she ends up as. I think she's, did she, can't actually remember. I know that she obviously was the one who was part of the childhood friend and all that with Utaro, and then of course, Itsuko becomes uh, the teacher. But one thing actually I thought was interesting was that Itsuka, she was probably the most relatable of all of the characters in Quintessential Quintuplets. I thought that she was just wanting to go to school, she was wanting to learn, and she was wanting to go and become, you know, she became a teacher, but she wanted to have like a good education, and that's the whole reason why they sought out Futuro in the first place. And I really thought that like everyone else in the anime was had that over the top eccentricness. They wanted to do something, be something that was maybe like a sort of childhood dream sort of situation, rather than like a realistic adult approach. Whereas, well, I mean, Yutsuba wanted to be an athlete. I think that's what it was. But yeah, Itsuko was the only one who had a very clear path in mind. She wanted to do her subjects, and she wanted to become a teacher. So I think overall, like everyone got their just rewards in the end. The music video itself, the music stuff itself, like I said, I've already made comment on that. Like I just wish they'd taken the first season one, and chucked that in somewhere. Um, the animation style, very nice. It wasn't it wasn't anything to write home about. It wasn't, um, in my opinion, like it does sometimes feel a little bit samey with these guys. But still, credible artwork as always. Um, Voice acting's top notch as well. I haven't actually seen it in I didn't see it in dubbed. I only seen it in the original subtitled version. So I will have to go back and find it in dubbed, because I'd originally watched the original series in dubbed. So it'd be kind of nice to get onto that. And also, in the same sort of vein, Kaguya-sama, a little bit different, but Kaguya-sama is the film that came out after the two seasons of that. I've actually seen that recently in the cinema as well. I think it was in January or February of this year. So I'll I'll get onto that too. But I hope you enjoyed that little review. And if you'd seen this one, I want you to let me know what you thought in the comments below, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers, guys.